In the Senate today, the Greens introduced a proposal to dump the Christian prayer, which begins every session, saying that it doesn't reflect our multi-faith nation. So is it time to get rid of prayers in Parliament?
We all have our little pre-work rituals before we knuckle down to start the day. You might brush your teeth, do some star jumps or meditate. I like to spend 5 minutes with my miniature pony, Honeyflower. Aussie senators have their own custom. The President starts every session by asking God for his blessing and reciting a Bible verse called the Lord's Prayer.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done.
On earth as it is in heaven.
Even without the rhythm section, it's pretty catchy, and they've stuck with it for over a century. So, why ditch it now? Well, it's a shout-out specifically to the Christian God. About 61% of us are down with that deity, and Australia is a democracy. But should Parliament big up one faith and ignore all the others? The Greens prefer a moment of silence, so each senator can consider their own beliefs, religious, non-religious, or science-fictional. On the other hand, there's nothing to stop folks from just tuning out at prayer time and thinking about whatever they want, including miniature ponies. Richard Di Natale introduced the proposal and Cory Bernardi opposes it. Senators, thank you both for your time. We've decided to start the debate without a prayer, if that's okay. That's no prayer, Pete. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Richard, to you first. What's the problem with just a little prayer?
Well, I just think that politics and religion should be separate. And I think, you know, in a multicultural country where we've got people of many different faiths and religions, we've got many people who don't have any faith at all, that the Australian Parliament should reflect that. What we're proposing is that we replace the Lord's Prayer just with a quiet minute of reflection. People can pray during that period, but I think to actually actively engage in a Christian prayer at the start of Parliament each day is no longer appropriate in the 21st century.
Well, you know, the purpose of the prayer, Charlie and team, was always about acknowledging, you know, the essence and the intention of our forefathers and the foundational values of our nation. And it doesn't matter whether you're a Christian or a Buddhist or a Muslim or a Jew. You benefit from the ethos that underpins this nation, our laws, our values, our social mores. And I think it's really timely and wise to continue to reflect on the intention of the Parliament and our nation every morning when we open it.
Cory, Reece Muldoon here. Knowing that you're a lifelong and proud Muslim, are you opposed to this because the Quran is not mentioned?
Reece, I'll take your comment flippantly, but, you know, quite seriously, I'm a traditionalist. I think it's important to recognise the importance of tradition and the cultural values that we have both at work within our institutions and in our society. So I have no problem with people taking an oath of affirmation or being sworn in on the Quran. And it's interesting to note we've had none of the Jewish members of the Parliament or none of the Muslim members of the Parliament say we should be replacing the prayer.
I'm surprised, Cory, you didn't strike me as a traditionalist.
You know, Carrie, there's lots you could learn about me, I'm sure. And,
well, you're welcome to come and have dinner with my non-traditional family anytime you like.
I'll bring a copy of my book. Hopefully you get a chance to read it.
Sounds good.
Richard, are you guys denying, you know, part of our history?
No, I think there's a big difference here. This isn't a nod to tradition. We're actively engaging in the act of prayer. I mean, that's what we're doing. We're praying in the nation's parliament. And really, religion and politics should be separate. It's the basis of our democracy that we keep those two things separate. And as for the idea that it's only the Greens, I can tell you that privately a lot of people inside the parliament support me. Unfortunately, it takes a bit of courage to stick your neck out on these sorts of issues, and courage is I think, in short supply in the Australian Parliament at the moment.
The problem is, Richard, you're critical of people who do stick their neck out. I mean, the Greens haven't had any support on this. In 1997, only 2 senators supported Bob Brown's motion, which is exactly the same as yours, and it wasn't well supported today.
I can tell you the support we're getting from people in the community is overwhelming. Most people in Australia recognise that religion and politics should be separate. But to start the day in the Australian Parliament, our workplace, with the Lord's Prayer, it just doesn't reflect what modern Australia is all about. And that's why it's really important to make this change.
I would just say that it's an entirely voluntary part of our tradition. I think if people don't want to participate in it, they don't have to. But 68% of people in this country or thereabouts identify themselves as Christians, and I think, you know, the ethos should be maintained.
Well, obviously, I
just-
think we may have to wrap it up, Richard, with all respect. Obviously,
worries,
gentlemen, I don't think we were going to get both of you to agree tonight, but thank you very much for being cordial and polite, and that's how we like to do things here at the Project. Thanks for your time.
Pleasure.
Cordial and polite. We definitely like the cordial. We're going to take a break.